What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what's really moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down slightly, 0.51%, 673 the low, 706 the high, and very low volume. So 26 million shares being traded, 79 is the average. So when it comes down to NIO, it was getting very hyped up, both in the pre-market and once the market did open. A lot of that had to do with more macro conditions. So of course, given the recent data that's been coming out from China, there is now a assumption that there's going to be some fresh stimulus coming, and that is most likely going to be announced this upcoming week. As far as what I can see, I don't think there's been anything coming out from those meetings. And so today is the last day of those. So anticipate some article summarizing what is going to be laid out for the foreseeable future, but the market does seem to be assuming that some form of stimulus is coming. Aside from that though, it is Netflix. They are the culprit on why all of this crap is happening in the broader market. And in my opinion, I think a lot of this is just being artificially done through algorithmic trading, so I'll go over that in a second. But there hasn't been all that much in news coming from NIO, so no SEC filings, no press releases. Only thing that really came out for an article that's kind of worthwhile to bring up is this right here. So it looks like they did previously announce that they were going to be expanding in Europe. One place is Austria, and ultimately they launched the website. And in that website, it does say that they're going to be kind of having these as available options. So it's good to see. It does look like they're going to be fully starting deliveries in 2026. So it's not really anything crazy for right now, but still it's kind of a move in the right direction. Unfortunately, this is kind of the best news that is out there specific to NIO that is worthwhile to bring up. At the time of doing this video though, shorts are returning about 79,000 shares. 11.78% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 163.02 million shares overall are being shorted. As I've mentioned in the past, by shorts returning, it does signal that today's red day isn't really justified. DTC still sitting at 1.97 days does signal that shorts are very overextended. Even first thing though, shorts were increasing about 632,000 shares. So they did take advantage and they hit it hard, especially with lower volume, and most of that volume coming from algos. All NIO needed was a little bit of a push, and that is what really happened ultimately today. So in reality, NIO, I think, is also going to go through a certain level of consolidation over the next couple of trading days, because any stock, not just NIO, but any stock really failing to get above a key resistance level eventually has a more significant consolidation. So this is exactly what happened with this R1. So at 783, it failed to really get above that for about 5 consecutive days. Market gave it the benefit of the doubt, but eventually you need to consolidate a little bit more. And right now, this pivot point of $7, it's tried over the last couple of trading days to really get above and stay there. Today it was successful, so 706 was the high, but again, it failing to really stay and hold those gains, you're going to see some consolidation. So I always like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there's positive news, definitely I'm all for it. But I think based on the technicals and the conditions in the broader market, there might be a little bit more of a pullback that does happen. So something just to keep in mind. So this is the 1-day chart, so very strong support and resistance points. Moving over to the 4-hour. So for those of you that want to day trade, swing trade, and so forth, 675 and then 639 is going to be good support levels. So just kind of watch for that. And exactly, we are on this pivot point right now. So just for today, for intraday trades, just watch for that 675, but bigger picture, just watch for that 7. But like I said, I do feel that we might consolidate a little bit more. Aside from all of that, looking at the options, 1.86 million in calls, 361,000 in puts, and then 49% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. And coming from a bull standpoint, you see consensus for it to be roughly around that $7 range. So optimism has dropped a little bit, because yesterday we were assuming that between 750 and 8 was on the table. So now it's kind of 7. From a bearish standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be sub 650, and even in the foreseeable future, the next couple of weeks, for it to be sub $6. So again, I think bears are anticipating further consolidation might be coming. So I think a lot of this has to do with just the technicals as well. Nothing really against NIO operationally. It's just the technicals and macro conditions. But you keep in mind, we've seen NIO really move higher when there was certain stimulus announced. And so I don't really consider NIO fully down and out. Easily just a good catalyst coming out would cause it to go higher. So just keep that in mind. As I've mentioned, the best thing to do is just dollar cost average. I think that's the best way to go for NIO. But aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you're not really seeing all that much. 2 sells and 1 buy. The 1 buy is 102,000, and then these are the 2 sells. So big money is not really doing that much with NIO. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So it looks like the high is the highest one is 1.38 million, and then 1.2. Aside from that, it seems to be just a lot of the smaller players. But nonetheless, given the fact that how much shorts have actually traded so far throughout the day, it is fair to assume that a lot of this is linked to them. So again, something just to keep in mind. But at the time of doing this video, right now, it is below that 10-day moving average. So like I said, that was going to be that key point to really get over if you're going to see more kind of good momentum in the broader market. But as I said, I think by Friday, you're going to see that 10 and also 50-day moving averages kind of converge. So you're going to see a very aggressive move coming up, whether it be pushing higher or potentially lower. And depending on if this negative kind of sentiment in the broader market does continue, then it would be probably the latter. But just watch for that 50-day moving average. Luckily enough, it did bounce off of that on the 16th. So it bounced off of that and really kind of moved higher. But looking at the market position for today, you see, and comparing it to yesterday, a little bit more willing sellers and not really much willing buyers in reality. So it looks like it's just more of a seller's market right now, and there really hasn't been that much in articles. So you can kind of see the last big news came out yesterday. Aside from that, nothing really crazy in my opinion. Aside from all of that, you can see from the flow, this is where algos are making up for the majority of the volume. So again, I think today is largely being artificially suppressed. Is it justified? Somewhat. I think some people are blowing it out of proportion, saying that this is kind of the bubble popping. It's not like Netflix did miss on their earnings, just the kind of margins weren't that great. And of course, people just had very high expectations for Netflix. So I think that's kind of the reason why ultimately their earnings is being seen as a miss. But then again, market has just been looking for a reason ultimately to really go down. We do have Tesla earnings coming out after hours today, so that's going to be a big one for the EV sector, so something just to keep in mind. But there hasn't been all that much in analyst ratings, so this one came out a couple days back, so on October the 17th, and I think that this one, it was just posted today because I look at this every single day, so it was just posted today even though it says October the 17th, but a buy rating was given by 𝗖𝗎𝗓, whatever it is. I've never heard of that firm whatsoever. So let me know your viewpoint on all of this. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on NIO? And potentially, if it does consolidate, how low do you think it will go? Do you think it's going to go back down to, let's say, the $5 range? Or do you think it's going to bounce off of this 50 again, no different than what happened recently on the 16th, and really trend higher? So let me know your thoughts on that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon, as I've been sharing with you. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.